In today's episode, it's madness as we break down the whole entire tournament. D'Antoni is out for the Knicks, and it's also the NBA trade deadline. All that and more, you're watching The Pitch. Welcome to The Pitch. As always, my name is Mitch Sabatelli. Next to me is Mike Pesperoni. We're going to be just doing something a little bit different. Normally we are a 2-week show, but since there is so much going on right now with the first couple of days of NFL free agency, as well as the NBA trade deadline and March Madness heating up, there's a lot of stuff to cover, so we're going to be doing 2 shows this week. It's going to be our basketball special with the NBA trade deadline as well as March Madness. A little bit later with Fox, it's going to be our football special with all the NFL moves, which is going to be a huge, huge show. But first, it is March Madness. And we're going to start, Peps, what is your opening thoughts, and who do you think is going to possibly take the whole thing?
My opening thoughts, first of all, is going to be a crazy tournament. There's obviously going to be your usually upsets and those teams that make the deep runs. But I think it's all about Tom Izzo and the Michigan State. I honestly think this is a team that's come from all different sides of the spectrum in the seedings to get and make runs to the Final Four, make it to championships. And overall, he's had 6 Final Fours, Tom Izzo, as a coach at Michigan State. And I think this time he's in the driver's seat. Now it's time to take it, or just time, don't let it slip. I think it's their time to take it. I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to step up and win this championship.
I agree, Peps. I think it's really interesting how all the number 1 teams have really good coaches. You got John Calipari over there in Kentucky. Yep. In Michigan State, you got Tom Izzo, I think is the second best coach in the whole entire tournament. And also, you got Roy Williams over there in UNC. But I'm going with Duke. I am a big Duke fan. But I'm going to stay with the coach who I think is the best coach in the tournament, in Coach K. Listen, I think you got Austin Rivers there. You got Seth Curry. You got some solid guards there, a nice backcourt. And also, everyone always says how, Duke, they have a few good players, but they're not. I don't think they're big enough. They're not going to be able to grab the boards you need late in the tournament. But they got the Plumlee brothers who have a lot of experience there and have been there before, won a championship, and they're really coming into their own. Mason Plumlee's been a force down low, averaging 10 and 9. I think they have enough there. I think Duke is going to get to the finals, and I think they're going to be playing Ohio State, and Duke wins 82-66. Right now, we are shooting this Friday at 4:15, so everything is going to be updated till then. And I think as far as we're going to start out in the South, I do like Duke over Kentucky. Perhaps who do you like in the South? Who are you taking there?
I'm going to take Duke in the South. I believe now this is the time, like you said, with clutch Austin Rivers, and you got arguably the best coach in the whole tournament, Coach K. I think that Duke is a good team. They've always shown they're a good team. They've had struggles in the past with this tournament, but I honestly believe that they can overcome and beat Kentucky and get to the Final Four. I just think that's going to be their point in time where they will lose.
I think last year they had a solid team too, but Kyrie Irving was just coming off injury. I think that was their big downfall. And but we're going to move on to the East. Over there, I like Vandy over Harvard. A lot of people were saying Harvard had a chance. However, I have Vandy knocking out Syracuse, and I do have Ohio State beating Vandy in the regional finals. And so I have Ohio State getting to the Final Four out in the East. I think Jared Sullinger is a candidate for player of the tournament. The guy's a real force down there, and he's had He's had some experience. He could have been a top lottery pick last year if he came out. He decided to stay in. I think that was the right move because now he could be a top 5 pick. He's really going to shine here. I think the experience is going to help him. I think Ohio State, they got an easy road. They do have to knock out Florida State if they get by.
Vandy be pretty tough.
Vandy's going to be tough, but I also think Syracuse, they lost one of their big guys, key cogs on defense. That's going to be tough. Syracuse is the number 1 seed over there, but I think Ohio State, I'm really a big fan of that make-or-break player, either the player that's going to carry you like a Kemba Walker or hurt you. So it comes where in the tournament, it's a lot about guts. It's a lot about mental toughness, and is your player going to be clutch enough down the stretch? I think Jared Sullinger will have that.
I'm going to agree with you in the East region of the bracket. I believe that Vandy's going to get there. I think they'll beat Syracuse. Like you said, Syracuse missing a very big player. And I just think they're going to get overtaken after that tough game against a 16 seed of all teams.
Yeah. So you like Vandy to go to the Final Four?
No, Vandy against Ohio State. I agree with you. Also with the Ohio State making it to the Final Four.
Okay, so Ohio State, nice.
Yeah.
So we both like Duke and Ohio State in the South and East?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the West. In my opinion, West is the weakest of the four regions here. And I know Peps likes Michigan State. And to me, there's really three teams that have a shot here. Michigan State, it's the top three: Michigan State, Marquette, and Mizzou. Missouri, I think there's a solid trio there. Also a team to look out for is Murray State. I think whoever wins that third round there against Marquette, against Murray State,
Marquette's got a tough road.
Yeah, the Marquette does have a tough road against Murray State. Murray State looked really good there against Colorado State. A lot of people have whoever wins that game right there between Marquette and Murray State to win the whole thing out there in the West. However, I like what Pep said with Tom Izzo. I don't think they have that main guy. They do play really well as a team.
Very well as a team.
But Green's a really solid player there for the Spartans. However, I'm gonna go with Marquette with Darius Johnson Odom as well as Jay Crowder. I like that nice guard forward combo. You got the rebounds there, the mental toughness down there in the paint with Crowder as well as Johnson Odom, who can carry you with 18 points. I'm gonna go Marquette over Michigan State in the regional finals.
I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-2 matchup in the West over there. It's got Michigan State, Missouri. First of all, Marquette, I mean, they're a good team. They're very good team for 3 seed. It's just, they have a tough road, like I was just saying. First of all, they would have to play Missouri. First of all, they have to play Murray State and say they win that Sweet 16 possible Missouri matchup in 2 seed. So you got 2 big games against 2 tough teams. Yeah. So that's tough. And then you're going to have to get through Michigan State, say that they get to the Elite 8. Which I believe they will, and then obviously take and do what they're going to do.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be very tough. I think that Marquette's going to get knocked out in the Sweet 16 by Missouri.
I think Murray State got a little shafted in their seeding. I think they could have been a 4 seed. However, I think that's going to be a big win. Whoever wins that game is going to give a lot of motivation and possibly beat Missouri in that next round. Missouri, I do like. A lot of people like Missouri to come out of to get to the Final Four of that region. I really like that team with Kim English. However, I think Marquette's going to have a lot of motivation from beating Murray State and knock out Missouri. It's a crapshoot over there in the West. But we're going to move on to the Midwest, which I think is a little bit less open. I think there's really only a couple teams that have a chance there: North Carolina, Georgetown, and maybe Kansas. Kansas is going a little under the radar with Thomas Robinson. However, I'm going to go with Roy Williams and the big Harrison Barnes there and Ty Zeller. I think North Carolina's going to come out of that region. I think they have Roy Williams is a very underrated coach. I think he's real solid. He gets his players real motivated. He's great in post-game interviews too. That's why I like him. However, I think North Carolina is going to beat the Hoyas in the regional finals in that region because of their scoring with Zeller and Harrison Barnes. And like I said, anytime you have a team with 2 real good scores, they have a shot in the tournament if they don't crap themselves. What's your take?
I'm going to go with a big long shot here. I had NC State to beat San Diego State. I had them beating them. And then if they go in the next round, if Georgetown holds up against Belmont, they're playing. And I don't think Georgetown's going to get to that Elite 8 because I believe that they're going to lose to NC State in the next round. And I think NC State could beat Kansas. Say Kansas State gets Sweet 16. But I think overall, I got UNC beating NC State in the Elite 8.
I like that. So NC State's really your sleeper going through.
Yeah. I was talking yesterday how I liked them. How there were even people talking to ESPN that liked them. Like, you know what? I mean, this sounds legitimate. I'm going to pick them to beat the 6th seed first. Then I think there's always the possibility of anyone winning. I think they could take down the 3 seed Georgetown. Georgetown's tough. Georgetown's very tough in the slot they're in, but I think NC State could do it.
Yeah, let's talk about those sleepers there. Peps likes NC State. I like the 12 seed in the South, the VCU. I had them beating Wichita, and that really helped my bracket there with that big win over Wichita State. And last year, VCU, I think they won their first 2 games in the first 2 rounds. They're really good come tourney time. I think Virginia Commonwealth might have a shot here. However, they do have to beat Kentucky.
I don't think that's good.
I think that's where they're going to stop there. I think they might have a chance to get Indy against the Hoosiers. However, going against Anthony Davis in Kentucky. I mean, right now I think the big favorite in the whole entire tournament is Kentucky, with John Calipari trying to get his championship.
Oh, yeah.
However, I think Kentucky is that team. It's so favored that they're going to have some teams like VCU is going to come up and maybe shock the world and come out of there. I do like Kentucky getting to the regional finals, though. But I think VCU is my sleeper. And yours is NC State?
NC State's my sleeper.
All right, so Peps, who do you like getting to the finals?
Getting to the finals, I have Michigan State versus Ohio State.
And who do you like?
I like Michigan State.
Really? So
yeah.
Tom Izzo going to take
Tom
it?
Izzo.
I like Duke, like I said, for a few reasons earlier with Austin Rivers and Coach K and Seth Curry and Mason Plumlee and Miles Plumlee. And I also like Ohio State. I like that big guy, that big center who can carry your team through go to the championship. You know, Ohio State, the last time they had a really good center was Greg Oden, and he had a real good career in college. I think Jared Sellinger isn't as dominating as a Greg Oden, a 7-footer. However, I think might be a little bit better scorer right now. And
definitely right now.
I think he's gone. We're going to talk about that later. Ohio State, I think they're going to get to Duke. I do like Duke in a big game, 82-66 in a shootout.
Yeah.
Now moving on, Peps, who do you think is going to be your player of the tournament? Just throwing a tough one.
Well, you take that one first. I'm not 100% sure.
There's
a lot of them.
Yeah, there is.
It could be, honestly, Austin Rivers, they could be playing the tournament. He's very clutch. I just think, I don't really think that Duke's going to make it that far, but when he needs him to, I think he'll be able to take down a team like Kentucky, make that big shot. So I think it could be Austin Rivers, very big key. Like you said, for them to get to a possible championship and win it, he'll have to be a very big key in games like that.
I think you kind of read my mind there, Peps. Austin Rivers is going to be my prediction for player of the tournament. I think this guy's made some real good clutch shots throughout the whole season and has really led Duke. And a possible top 1-2 pick there in the NBA draft if he comes out. I think he will. I think he's gonna motivate his team. He looks like a real good young leader for them.
That big game against UNC, where he drained that 3 to win.
Yep, he can score. He can create his own shot. He's quick.
Yeah.
I really like Austin Rivers, and I think he could be this year's Kemba Walker. Moving on, we do have other news, basketball news, and we're going to be talking about real quick some of this trade deadline stuff. But before we move on to the trade deadline, we got to do this real quick. D'Antoni is out as the Knicks coach, and I guess he had a huge feud with Melo, and he said, listen, it's either you or me or we're going to be gone here. And, you know, it looked like, I guess, Melo actually drove him out of town. And he lost 6 games in a row before he quit on the team.
They're both babies.
And really, if you realize, when Knicks were on a run here, it was when Melo was not on the team and Lin was the focus there. I really think Melo should have got traded at this trade deadline. I know it's tough with his contract, but, you know, I think he's a cancer for the team. That's all I'm saying.
The big problem for me is Mike D'Antoni has always been known for wanting to rush up the court, throw him a shot, get some offense going, no defense. So you got games that are like 125 to 121, you're winning or losing. You're still giving up 125 or 121 points regardless, so you're not going to be known as a defensive team. He's never been a defensive coach, always an offensive coach. That's why he got run out of Phoenix, because Phoenix was trying to make runs with players like Steve Nash, Mario Stoudemire, try to get things going there. Now Stoudemire's with him in the Knicks. And, you know, I mean, but the other problem is Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony's the type of player, if he's not into it, he'll come in down 2 points with like a minute left and be like, man, I'm not really feeling this game right now. I'm going to throw up a brick. He's that type of player. So I think they're both babies. I think they both should eventually be run out of town. And Melo should eventually just be out of a job. Eventually just maybe go somewhere else on a defensive team and learn his role with another better coach who would take more control of him.
All right, I agree. We got other news here. Howard accepts his early termination option, meaning he is under Magic control for next year. And they're saying this is a lot of moral thing. Magic owner there is saying, oh, this guy has a lot of morale accepting this early termination. Now, if he had a lot of morale, wouldn't it be signed a long-term deal by now?
Yeah.
I think this is actually a slap in the face. Dwight, I mean, he's trying to do the right thing. I think he's trying to do the right thing, but the right thing is either saying, listen, I want to get out, or I want to sign a big-term deal. I don't want to just keep dragging the Magic along. Now, we got to move on a little bit. A couple of deals here. Walsh does go to the Nets. Now, Nets, yeah, they have Brook Lopez. Yeah, they have Darren Williams. However, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs there.
No way.
Walsh is a great defender, but he's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And also, Lakers let go with Fisher and also bring in Ramon Sessions.
That'll definitely help. That'll definitely help, but I think it's unfortunate for Fisher because Fisher, remember that team was so long. All of a sudden they trade him to the Rockets. So it's like, what the hell? He's just like, I wonder if retires a Laker. I think he will eventually retire as a Laker, but it's a big deal for the Lakers in general.
Some other things: Andrew Bogut gets traded for Monte. That's huge. It's going to help Milwaukee in the playoff. It's going to help Milwaukee's playoff chances. But also, Camby goes to Houston. It's going to give him a little bit better in leadership there. And S-Jax gets traded to the Spurs. That could help them. He's a little old, though. And also, Rubio out with an ACL. But
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's all we got for this episode. Tune in a little later. We do football. You're watching The Pitch.
See ya.